types of physical threats. Theft. You know what is theft? It's just an unauthorized taking of property. Theft, unauthorized taking of something that doesn't belong to you. Example like robbers or shoplifting. You don't have money, you go into a shopping mall or a mini mart, supermarket, you know you don't have money and you go there, you're picking things, not knowing that cameras are there. That is theft. Taking what does not belong to you or taking something that doesn't belong to you without the person's authorization. Then secondly, another type of physical threat is vandalism. Vandalism, what is vandalism? Vandalism is an intentional damage or destruction of property. Intentional damage or destruction of property. You see here all over in the country, they say vandalism, this vandalism, that, only vandals. You see people, they go to the street, they go underwater, they destroy things, destroy people's things, and all that. And you now hear when federal government is using like some security agencies, almost in every security agency you see anti-vandal this, anti-vandal this, anti-vandal that, just to stop it. So vandalism is intentional damage or destruction of property. You will see a gang up of boys, even females are into it now. They will just decide to vandalize things in order to achieve whatever selfish thing they want for themselves. Terrorism is another type of physical threat. Acts of violence. Terrorism is an act of violence or intimidation committed by individuals or group of people to achieve either political or religious or kind of any selfish goal. You see people gang up, they just decide to terrorize their fellow human beings, terrorize communities, terrorize families. Like most villages in Cross River here, we hear every time you see people, you will lie down in your house, lock everywhere. You are there to rest, to sleep after the whole stress of the whole day, but you're lying down in your house in some communities, especially over the north. You're lying down in your house, you don't have peace of mind because you don't know what will happen the next minute because of some bad elements that have taken it upon themselves to terrorize each other. That is terrorism. Violence is another one. Physical harm. Violence is a physical harm or threat of harm to individuals, such as assault, battery, homicide. You see sometimes in some families, you see a man, you feel your wife is a punching bag. That is an assault. Even our children, even by spoken words. There's something you tell your child, it will disturb the child, maybe out of anger, out of annoyance, you utter a word that will bring the child's morale very down. That is an assault. That is violence. It is not good. Or you beat your child. You see, like some offices, you see when they bring children, you see their bodies with marks, especially those that have maids in their house. You see an underage child sending the child out for a housemaid, for a housekeep. Then the person will now turn the child to a slave. You beat the child to the extent of inflicting marks on the child's body. That is not good. It's violence. It is not good. Homicide means an unlawful killing of a person by another. That one is talk of the town, is everywhere. Some people just get up, they don't have the fear of God. You see a human being, you just stand and you have that God, you have that boldness to kill your fellow human being like an animal. In some places I hear when they kill, they eat the bodies. That is homicide. It's all about security. We just have to be conscious of where we go, where we find ourselves, the times, and how we move. Another type of physical threat is a natural disaster. When you say natural disaster, we have things like earthquakes, floods, wildfires, and all that. So we just have to be careful. But we are so blessed in our nation. Most of these things don't happen here. When you listen to foreign news, you will hear hurricane, you will hear this, you will hear that. Well, God is so faithful. He knows who doesn't have maybe things to control that. That is why it's not that coming to us. But not undermining. We just have to be careful, avoid things that can cause that. But floods, we all experience it sometimes, as in we are entering the rainy season or into it already. You see some agencies that are in charge of that. They will tell people, you do this, you clean your gutter. Even some people that are so vulnerable to that, they can even sometimes evacuate them from their places for a period of time to avoid them from being carried away by floods on their properties and all that. So another type of physical threat is accident. This one, nobody can predict it. We are just moving around under the protection of God. What is an accident? Unintentional events such as maybe somebody is walking and slip, or you trip, or you fall, or maybe you're moving in your vehicle, you checked it in the morning and all that, and everything is in good condition, but you entered on your way driving, something comes up and all that. You're being careful, maybe you want to cross the road, you don't look, and all that. So unintentional events such as slip, trips, falls, or equipment malfunctions that can cause injury or damage. In some companies, I have an uncle is now in London. That's my mommy, their last child. He was in Italy. He works with a company. Right now, he doesn't have this finger due to machine malfunction. Remove his finger. After treating, they say they fixed the engine. After taking care of himself, he went back to work. This time, he now had to cut the flesh off. So him and the wife, they now had to sue the company. That is where systems work. It's not in Nigeria. They had to sue the company. They paid them heavily that the government of Italy felt it. So after paying him, what they now did, they were no longer employing him, as if the fault was from him, because they were like begging him, please don't stand down, don't expose us. They say, no, this is too much for me. They had to cut part of his lap to fix the flesh that the machine removed. So they were not giving him employment, but the kind of money they paid him, he had to leave the country. Now relocated to London and is doing well. So such things, we don't pray about them. We just have to be careful. That is an accident. It can happen to anybody. We are just living by the grace of God. Praise Master Jesus. So consequences of physical traits. Some consequences of physical traits. Injury or loss of life, property damage, destruction of properties, property damage. Because sometimes you see people in their houses, you see when a woman is angry, before you know it, you look at the plasma. Because of that anger, you say, okay, this man is so much in love with this television, I will destroy it. Before you know it, forgetting that the television, your children even enjoy it more than the man that you're thinking you're breaking his heart by spoiling that. You destroy your properties out of anger and all that. It is not good. Then emotional trauma. Just like what I say, there's a way you handle your child, there's a way you treat them, the way you shout at them, beat them, it will disturb them. Even in the offices, your boss might talk to you in a way that maybe you felt I'm too close or next to this person, this thing I did is wrong. He's supposed to come into his office and talk, why will you shout at me where the juniors are and all that? It will disturb the person. You will not even be able to perform well in your activities. That is emotional trauma. Psychological trauma. Some of these things, when you do it to the person, it takes a longer time for it to go off the person's mind. So we just have to be careful how we treat one another. You just have to be careful. Sometimes you do something, you feel, I've done it, it's gone. But the person you did it to, the person you talk to in that manner, it will take the person a long time to come over that. So we just have to be careful how we treat one another, especially in the church of God. There's a way you talk to somebody and the person will say, is this the only parish in the federal housing? You might say it and you will just feel, I've said it, it's my mind, but you don't know what it's doing to the person that you're talking to, that you told that word to. It can make the person leave the place, and God will not be happy with such person. So we just have to be cautious how we treat one another. Consequences of physical traits. Then let's look at some measures to take to prevent some of these threats. Measures to take about some security threats. Access control. Restricting access to sensitive areas or properties. Sometimes you might see where a place that is being colored with either white robes or white red or white threads to barricade some places. The people that did that know that there is a threat here. They will cordon it. But the way we think in this part of the country, you will just see somebody maybe in a road, maybe some people like Neymar, they've seen that this place is going down, maybe by the road. If you allow people to drive through this place, it can cause harm, it can cause accidents, they will use something and cordon it. You will not see some people, maybe this other way that everybody is now using, maybe there's traffic and all that. You will not see one person who just come say, this place, the traffic is too much, what is this one, why are they? You just see somebody, they will just remove it and drive. The ones with them, they say, maybe it's for heavy trucks, now my car is small. Before you know it, you go and drive, you don't know how Satan works. Maybe that is the time it's been programmed for that place to sink. Because you undermine what has been used to cover that place, you will not try to maneuver. Maybe something will happen and it will cause accidents. So it's better when we see such things, we'll just have to stay away. Or maybe something happened, accident or fire outbreak, and people are trying to control it. They use things to cuddle, and you will want to be, there's one, I can do it now. You now want to go and try to maneuver. It can cause harm. So we just have to always take note of that. Then another one is surveillance. Surveillance. What is surveillance? Monitoring through cameras. Some do it. You see some big people, some companies, offices, they mount cameras. They'll be in their office doing their daily things, but they are monitoring what is happening around them. From there, you can pick somebody. Maybe you see people, they are out there planning or doing things, the way their body movements and all that. Maybe because you have that camera, you can see, this is a threat. Those group of boys, those group of men, those group of ladies or women that be there, something is fishing. You'll be able to put it under control before it brings problem. Even when you're moving, you should be cautious of where you're going, behind you and all that. Or where you're going, you watch. There are some movement, there are some things you see, you say, it's like something is really fishing. You just have to be cautious. When you're moving around, sometimes you're going, you see people gather, you leave where you're going, you say, that will, some people say it's approach. You say, let me go and check. Let me go and look. Before you know, you go, maybe somebody tries to throw something on you, just want to let me go. You say, will now be on your head. You will not get injured. So you have to be surveillance. You have to be cautious of yourself, your environment. Anywhere you're moving, you just have to be careful. Then physical barriers like fencing and all that, fence, walls, gates, like these burglaries. You know that now they say they have chemicals that even when you fix it, when they come and drop it, it will melt. But you still have to do it. Because when you build a house or you stay in a place that is being fenced, there is an atom of security. You being secure than somebody that is staying in an open place. There are some people, maybe these bad boys and all that, a place they will think, instead of me to start jumping this fence or jumping this gate, let me just go, this one is open, that's a free entrance, let me just walk through. So sometimes those things help. Physical barriers, it helps. Then using strong password, this one is all about cyber something. Those in technical, they can attest to that. When you use strong password, it helps you protect a lot of documents. There are some level of documents now, we don't deal with paperwork, everything is in the system. You can have everything about you, your bank details, everything in your phone, in your laptop. But if you don't have a strong password to that, anybody can bump into it, go into your system and deal with you seriously. So we just have to be careful. We just have to be careful. We just have to be careful. Saying security is a collective responsibility. I hope I still have time, mommy. Security is a collective responsibility that requires our attention and effort. Implementing security measures and following best practices, like what you just have now. You be careful. You call your children, talk to them, tell them it's not good to move out when it's act like me. At times when we're in church and it's getting that, although we feel federal housing is a bit secure, I don't like moving out late. Even where I work, when they say, night duty, when I was still a junior, when I do those things, they will say, they will pay heavily. They will see me carrying my bag. Some will say, come on now. Some will say, that one, night duty. Even if you pay million, she will not go, so don't bother to call her. So sometimes it's good we don't move out when it's dark. We don't move out when it's dark. When you see that this place is vulnerable to such things, threats, then you don't try and abstain yourself from there. You don't go those places. Some people that go to bar, go to club and all those places, they say is enjoyment place. Me, I don't see it like that. I see it as threat, because somebody can come there, get drunk and start misbehaving and you get injured. Like the kind of husband I have, God help me, is this type that likes those kind of things. Sometimes when he comes, he say, let's go out. I say, go where? He say, you say. He say, I say, whatever it is, I know I tell you not to go. You say, no, you go. But when you go, please bring my fish. He say, if you don't follow me, I will not go. I say, if you come back with my fish, I will not open the door. Before you know it, he will just come and say, you say, go out, you not go. I don't even know the kind of university you were. I say, leave me, that is me. So sometimes, those things that they say there, you can buy it, stay in your house and eat it with your children and have your peace. You can be going on your way. Somebody that is drunk from somewhere, and you be very careful on your own, walking, like those that drive. You see, they say when you're driving your own, you're driving for the person behind you, you're driving for the person just front of you and all that, because you might be careful, but the next person driving, you don't know what the person has taken. So we just have to be careful. So we can create a safer and more secure environment for ourselves and our community by being cautious of all these things. But as we all know, as followers of Christ, like in Psalm 127, they say, except the Lord builds a house, the labor in vain that builds it. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman worketh in vain. So in everything we say, as human beings, we have to be cautious, we have to be careful how we move and all that. But when we do it without Christ, it is all in vain. When you think you have muscle, you have, is it 5 parts or 8 parts, and you don't have the protection of God, it's all in vain. So Christ is the chief security officer of our lives, of everything that we have. He's the CEO. If you have that strength, you hang AK here, you have FN, you have pistol, you hang even bomb, everything, and you don't have Christ. Even the ones that they say they do or they share and all that, they do it, it does not work, and you don't have Christ. Even throwing only a stone, like what happened to Goliath. You saw how big everything, all the gadgets he used and protected himself. It's not that ordinarily, if that stone hits him and there was David was not backed up by Christ, it would just for him even pick it and walk to David and break him into two. But because Christ was with David, because David obeyed Christ and Christ was always with him, that was why he was able to defeat Goliath with just a stone. May God have mercy upon us. Give us the grace to love him, do his will, obey him. When you do and walk in the way of God, he will always be there to protect you. So what are we saying? Jesus is our chief security officer. When you believe in him, have faith and obey his commandments, he will keep you secured. May God have mercy on us and always keep us secured in everything that we do in life, in the mighty name of Jesus.